Welcome to Reread. Today I'm going to go over 2 comic book stories from the Star Wars Weekly. However, if you have the Wild Space Omnibus Volume 1, you have both of these. Again, I can't talk about how much I loved this omnibus when it came out, because it collected all the comic books I thought I would never get. I even gave up hope finding them, because if you could find them maybe online, they were super expensive. I was like, I'll never be able to get them. And when Omnibus came out, it was like, oh, you know, a light from the sky there. I was like, oh my goodness, it's here. A big collection of all the rare, or at the time, hard to find stories. And here has 2 stories I'm going to talk about. The first one, and these are at the very beginning of the book too, I think. It's called The Keeper's World. This one, Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker and the droids go on a trip, and they encounter Imperials, and Luke crashes. Now, I'm going to keep up with Luke's crashing, because he crash lands on several planets. So far, counting day after the Death Star, 2. Okay, this is the 2nd time he's crashed, and this time with Leia. Well, they come across 4 kids who can control all the elements: earth, fire, wind, rain. And you know, it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird. Imperials chase them to this planet. It turns out that the kids are just androids, and there's some big machine on there. It's like a dome, big machine there called the Keeper. And the Keeper's just trying to protect his android children. Now, what is the Keeper doing there? There is, and I'm pretty sure that Joe's Supernatural Encounters, which as of this video has not come out yet, I'm pretty sure he's going to explain a little bit more of the Keeper in there. But the Keeper's origins are kind of a mystery, and it's one of those old, you know, late 70s, early 80s stories when they got a little weird. Some of the stories were. And of course, the Keeper wants to make sure that they're not the enemy, you know, Luke, Leia, and the 2 droids. And when he realizes the Empire is the enemy, he stops the Empire and then lets Luke and Leia and them free and live and whatnot. And it's okay. It's an okay story. But it continues on in the next story called Kingdom of Ice. Again, this is in the Wild Space Omnibus again. This one, they get shot down a 3rd time and have to crash. This is 3 crashes for Luke now, because they encounter some more pesky Imperials that they can't blow up the ship, but they can injure enough to where they have to crash land on another planet, where they encounter snow creatures who take the droids away. They are rescued by who they think is Colonel Odin of the rebellion. But when he fails to deliver, you don't realize this, but he fails to deliver the passcodes, you know, to identify himself. So Luke automatically distrusts him. But Leia's playing coy, and when he finally just leaves their presence, Luke goes, "He's not, something's wrong with him, Leia." She's like, "Of course, he's not the Colonel." He's like, "How do you know that?" "He didn't give the passcodes." You know, so Leia's using her smarts. Luke is going off the Force, intuition. Meanwhile, we find out that 3PO and R2, when they get drugged off by those ice creatures, the person controlling the ice creatures is the real Colonel Odin. Of course, the rebellion can befriend any of the local alien species there, and that's what he did when the Empire took over his little glide ship that glides across the glacier planet. You know, he said he befriended, they took him in, and he kind of leads them, and they're trying to get the Empire off the planet, which they eventually do. They do get the Empire off, and you know, the real one is there to save the day. Well, the Empire leaves Luke to die, like sends him to his own death. The real Colonel saves him, and then they go off and save the princess. You know, and again, these stories aren't like the best ever, and if you don't have Wild Space Omnibus or can't get it, don't lose sleep over it. They're just old Marvel stories with, you know, a little bit of weirdness added to them. Keeper is more weird than any of the ice creatures on the the Kingdom of Ice storyline. But that's all I have for today. See you next time.